A $230 million Rebuilt by Design project was unveiled tonight at the Multi-Service Community Center in Hoboken. There are many that lined up to share their concerns regarding this project. Hoboken Mayor Don Zimmer reminded everyone that this is a process and their feedback is important.
But really tonight is about hearing your thoughts and your ideas and presenting some concepts for you to consider. So just want to say a big thank you to the state. They've been working really hard, and just look forward to hearing your ideas, and this is a process that's going to continue on as we work together to create the best plan for our community and our region.
Ken Span of Dewberry Engineering reintroduced the three alternatives for the Resist design, all which has a delay, store, and discharge aspect. As the waterfront alignment, Alternative 2 ties up by the north end, really by the light rail, and the Resist piece would follow up 15th Street to Washington. Alternative 3, this is also in the north end, same location as Alternative 2, but has an alleyway that runs between Garden Street and Washington and would tie in at Washington and 14th Street. Laura Baird, partner and director of OMA, which is the Office for Metropolitan Architecture, first explained the DSD alternatives and how each alternative considers three basic categories, which are place, services, and identity.
And the way that this ends up creating a kind of a layout within each of these alternatives is that you have three types of design within the Resist alignment specifically, but also to a certain extent within delay, store, and discharge. You have activation design, which is the public spaces with the greatest opportunity for designing community amenities, programming, and placemaking. Then at the second tier down, you have passive design, which is when the space is still publicly visible, but again, the room to work is a little bit less. So you're a little bit more limited in the types of solutions that you can propose here. And then separate from any type of structure or physical element is the whole idea of programming. So what space can you program in an interesting way that might be adjacent or next to some of these alignments or sites, and how does that look in the grand constellation of the kind of study area?
So how can the infrastructure that you're putting in place start to provide those amenities that we've talked about, the services for the street and the local neighborhood? One exercise we've done is mapped out the alignments in terms of those different potentials. What that allows us to do is start to think about programming potential, activity potential, so that the infrastructure starts to become something that's ingrained in the street and offers things that you would come to expect of a streetscape.
There are 7 design zones broken up to really pinpoint the potentials of each space. Each design zone has included the associated alternative options. For example, in Zone 1, Alternative 1 for the Lincoln Harbor Ferry stop would include either a terrace or kiosk design. Alternative 1 for the Weehawken Park space would include either a stepped, sloped, or sheltered design. For Zone 2, Harborside Park, which shares all 3 alternatives, would have either a water-facing, urban-facing, or multi-directional design. These designs can also include an urban lawn, urban beach, or playscape. Zone 3 received the biggest reaction because Washington Street is part of that zone. First, Weehawken Cove Promenade is part of the Alternative 1 alignment. The design options include either a viewing platform, sloped, or undulating paths. For Washington Street, which is part of the Alternative 2 alignment, it currently promises not to take away any parking spaces. One way to do so is to create a pedestrian island, becoming an elevated public square with parking tucked underneath. The other option is called the soft play area, where you have pockets of rests. The third option would be the expanded sidewalks, where you have parklets. Alternative 3 was the alleyway from Garden Street to Washington Street. These designs included pocket spaces, pocket ramp, split function, flip-up canopies, and nesting canopies. Upon completion of the zone presentations, there were also breakout sessions where Mayor Don Zimmer was seen actively explaining the designs for zones 1, 2, and 3 to concerned residents.
Yeah, so that's why we're just trying to, they've putting out ideas for different parts of it to see what you think and see what your
No, they're very nice. I think some of us just had a difficult time orienting ourselves. And I think we've cleared most of it.
Right, so I mean, there is the possibility that along 15th Street, like if you like some of these ideas, that perhaps some of these ideas could be incorporated into going down 15th Street.
Residents can post their questions, concerns, and ideas at each workstation. Workstation 1, which included zones 1, 2, and 3, the major concerns were parking, traffic during rush hour, and shop access. In Workstation 2, which included zones 4 and 5, comments were made such as the modern design not fitting Hoboken's historic nature and that New Jersey Transit property is owned by the state.
Thank Mayor Turner, who's here, Councilwoman Fisher is here, and again to all of our CAG members who have done so much work to give us input. And again, want to reiterate, these are ideas. We want to hear your feedback. This is going to be up on the website, and I'm kind of thinking maybe for one of the meetings we'll film it. Laura, you did a great job, and maybe we could film it, and that'll be another way that people can kind of understand what's going on and give their feedback in different ways.
The new infrastructure is set for 2022 and estimates about 3.5 years to complete the project. From Hoboken, I'm Jeanette Josu, Hudson County View, the eye of the community.